Human lactation is such an amazing system. It's as amazing as any other part of the body. The eyes, the ears, the heart. Have you ever studied a part of the body and thought, oh, Mother Nature, she really didn't go all out on that one? Of course not. And human lactation is just as amazing. Breasts are not just to make sweaters look good. They have a very important reproductive function. When your baby is born, you are going to think, oh my goodness, Mother Nature has just brought the most beautiful little baby into our arms. And everything your body has done to make this baby, you will just be in awe. Well, it doesn't end there. Mother Nature made sure that human babies come through the pelvis while they can still fit. So yes, we need to make sure that moms are giving birth while they can fit the baby through the pelvis. But babies aren't ready to live in this world. They're young, they're premature. Just as your body nurtured and grew your baby in the uterus, your breasts will continue to nurture and grow your baby once your baby is in your arms. Your breasts will provide your baby with all the nutrients they need for optimal growth and development. So how does the breast make milk? Well, inside the breast looks a little something like this. Well, it doesn't look exactly like this. There are alveoli in the breast, and this is where the milk is made. Alveoli are covered with little muscles that you can think of as the skin of these cells. And then there's a ductile system that leads to the nipple, and the nipple is like a collection of straws. So inside the breast, while the baby suckles at the breast, there are hormones released in mom's brain. The first hormone released is prolactin, and it tells the breast to make milk. So if you think about all these grapes being filled up with milk, and then a second hormone is released called oxytocin, and that causes the little cells around these sacs to contract and squeeze. As well, these ducts will dilate and open up, and the milk will be delivered to the baby. So after oxytocin is released in the brain, the ducts will dilate and the muscle cells around the alveoli will contract, and the milk will be delivered through the nipple to the baby. When babies are born, colostrum is in the breast. This is the first milk. It is golden in color. Some people call it the baby's first immunization because it's so high in antibodies. You'll notice that there's not a lot of colostrum in the breast when the baby is first born, and this is exactly how Mother Nature intended for it to be. As you can see, the baby's tummy is very small at birth, and so the amount of colostrum matches the size of the baby's tummy. As well, the baby will do a lot of suckling during the colostrum phase, and what the baby will be doing is will be stimulating the breast and putting a lot of receptors down in the breast where the receptors will be able to respond to the hormones that are being released from the brain telling the breast to make and deliver milk. Between day 2 to 4, moms will have their milk come in, and it happens in response to hormones that change at delivery. So when the placenta is delivered, mom will have a shift in her hormones, and her body will have the milk come in day 2 to 4. This milk will change, and there will be some transitional milk, and by the end of the first week, mom will have mature milk. Mature milk is a little different, and at the beginning of a feed, there is foremilk. This is milk which is more watery. It quenches baby's thirst, and as the baby continues to feed, the milk becomes thicker, creamier, and increases in fat. This is hind milk. So as the breast continues to make milk throughout the feed and becomes less full, the amount of fat in the milk increases. So it's really important when moms are breastfeeding that they let the baby feed on the breast as long as they want to ensure that they get this nice fatty milk, which will help them to gain weight and to stay satisfied between feeds. The breasts work separately, and so it's important that the baby be fed on both breasts so that both breasts will make a similar amount of milk. When you are feeding your baby, you want to start off with the first breast and let the baby get that nice foremilk, the nice watery milk, and as the fat content increases, the baby will continue to feed, and you want to let the baby get as much of that hind milk as they want. At the end of the feed, the baby will find that the milk is rich and creamy, and they won't want any more. And so when a baby is finished at the breast, they may come off the breast, they may fall asleep, or they may start to do little suckles, and they don't want to trigger a letdown reflex. What you can do is you can take the baby off at that time. When taking the baby off the breast, it's always a good idea to break the latch by putting your finger into the baby's mouth and breaking the suction. You wouldn't want to pull the baby off the breast in any other way, or it could damage the nipple and be very painful. Once the baby is finished on the first breast, you want to burp the baby. It's always nice to try to burp the baby. Many breastfed babies will not burp. It's not the same as giving the baby a bottle where they take in a lot of air, but it's still a good thing to give the baby an opportunity should they have any air in their system. And then you want to offer the second breast, because this breast will now have the nice foremilk, the watery milk. Think of a time that you've had 2 donuts and you've had enough fat and you just want something to wash that down, so you go for a glass of milk or a glass of water. Well, it's similar for the baby. On the first breast, they had the hind milk, and now they want to wash that down with some foremilk. So you always want to offer the second breast. These lucky little guys always get dessert offered, and sometimes they will take the second breast and sometimes they won't. But the important thing is to offer it, because only they know what they want, and they tell us by their behavior at the breast. So when the baby suckles on the second breast, they may take the foremilk, and then they may decide that they want more of that hind milk. And so they may feed just as much off the second breast, if not more. And sometimes the babies will finish the second breast and want to go back to the first. Another thing to remember is you always want to start on the opposite breast. The reason for that is that each breast is its own system. And so you want to have the baby suckling on the breast when the baby is most hungry, because that will give the best stimulation. So you want to try to remember which breast you started on last. Some people may put a bracelet on their arm to indicate the breast that they started on at the last feed. Other people may put a pillow on a chair that they like to sit on breastfeeding. I had a friend and she named one of her breasts chocolate and the other vanilla, and that's how she remembered. So whatever it is that works for you. But this isn't something to worry about. If you forget, oftentimes you'll feel fuller in one breast, and that may be the best breast to start with. So how do you know your baby is getting enough? You cannot see what goes in, but you can see what comes out. Particularly in the early days, it's important to monitor babies' diapers, wet and dirty diapers. Depending on the age of the baby, this is how many wet diapers the baby should have for the first 4 days of life. So on the first day, the baby may have 1 wet diaper, 2 on the second day, 3 on the third day, and 4 on the fourth day. Remember, colostrum comes in very small quantities, and the amount increases every day, as does the baby's stomach. By the end of the first week, milk production will be up to full capacity. So monitoring these wet diapers is very important. By around day 5, babies should have at least 6 soaking wet diapers. Diapers should be clear and heavy. This indicates babies getting a lot of breast milk. Additionally, monitoring dirty diapers is very important. In the early days, the baby has meconium in their diaper. Meconium is a thick, tarry-like stool. This is what has been in the baby's system while they were in the uterus. Once the baby starts to take in breast milk in the first few days, this stool will change to a greenish or brownish color, and this is called transitional stool. By day 4, the stool should be yellow and seedy. These are the pots of gold you're looking for. These are the signs of success that let you know breastfeeding is working. This is breast milk stool. Hopefully you'll find these tips helpful in helping you to meet your breastfeeding goals. Breastfeeding is so important for moms and babies, and I hope you have a really positive experience.